Alright guys, I did want to say one thing. I mean, this is a time of year that everybody's doing all this extra building, and everybody is adding on to their homestead, and everybody likes to try to do things as best they can free and whatever, and I am the biggest free person you can find. But one thing I haven't heard, and I keep forgetting to say something about it, and I'm going to now because, like I said, I've got to build that goat platform with pallet wood. Pallet wood is really good use of wood. Very good use of wood, providing that you don't use it for animals that will eat it, or gardening, anything in that nature. The big thing is because some of these pallets come from overseas. Some of them get sprayed with some weird chemical from some country that does not have the I don't know, I got a big wasp around me right now, flying right in front of the truck, buzzing around right in front of the camera. Never mind, just pissed him off. Anyway, some of these they don't monitor what they spray their pallets with, and it comes to our country. And what one guy told me was, I was in Texas visiting something, I think it was a NASCAR race really, and I told, he asked what I was doing. I told him what we got going on here and all that, and then he just come right away and said, pallets are very good, but like I just said, they're very dangerous for chemicals that's in them. And he told me the best way to see is if these chemicals are in the pallet wood. He says, build a small quick fire outdoors, get it going really good, and then he said, take some of the pallets that you've got, some of the pallet wood, break them up in small pieces and throw them on a fire. He says if they start catching fire, and what happens when they start getting hot, the pallet, you can start seeing the wood bubbling. And he says when you see the wood bubbling, there's a chemical in it that we don't need to be messing with. And yes, it stops, because what they do, they spray it for one, for bugs, second, for less rot is what they do. And when stuff comes from overseas, you know, they go to shipping containers, the ocean, all that stuff is on there. I mean, they reuse pallets all the time, so you don't know where that pallet originated from. So we have to be careful. So every time I do a project, and one project I'll tell you right now, well, it's my barn door I built for that right there, my coop. That's all pallet wood, but I did start a small coal fire, and I threw some regular wood on top, just had a small area. Just got it going really good, and I took a couple pieces of pallet wood, maybe like 8 inches long, and I threw it on there. Yes, they catch fire. In fact, they catch fire pretty easy because of that chemical. But the big thing is, you will see it right along where the edge is, where it's burning, it starts to bubble. That wood, you do not want to put with something that an animal's going to chew on or plant with for your garden, unless you do a liner. Liner shouldn't be a problem at all. And then of course you do a liner, you want to put holes in the bottom so you get good drainage, because you don't want all that water just to set in there all the time. This is just for information that not a lot of people know and pay attention to. And a lot of people use this, and I'm a big fan of pallet wood. Believe me, you see some of the stuff I build. But those all I have burned and checked, and they don't do that. They don't do that. When you do it, you have a piece of wood. When it catches fire right along the fire edge, it will be bubbling. And that is the chemical that you do not want. That's dangerous. The best ones you can get are oak. And I have seen some wood, you'll get a poplar, which doesn't have it. But I have thrown away, I hear the builders yelling over there. I have thrown away a couple of pallets that were just something I wasn't going to use because they bubbled severely. It's like, all right, yeah, this pallet's going to the burn pile. And you know, some you can use for like a very good one. That pallet back there that I use for help building my RV awning it has that chemical in it. It's in there, but I needed a real strong pallet to mount that big board on, and that's what I've kept it. And I've kept it, rebraced it, and I've used it for whenever I need to keep something that I need to get up on. I'll use that. That is a pallet that has a chemical in it. So just, you guys pay attention, check it out. If you'll see them, if you've got a piece of wood, you'll know what it is. And just be careful, especially when you use them in your garden, because they, just like they say, don't use enough telephone poles, railroad ties for your garden. All that creosote's in there. You don't want that in your garden. That's poison. So y'all be careful. Just a quick little info. If anybody else knows more about those, comment on it. And that's it. So now I got to get going here, and I'm going to start building that pallet deal for the goats. I've got 3 pallets that I know that have no chemicals in them, and we're going to start using that and get that pallet deal built. All right, guys, enjoy the video, and I need to get going.